What's up, YouTube fam? So we got a new show that we're going to be reviewing. That's HBO's Insecure, as the premiere of season 4 just dropped today. If you've seen us tag team in other reviews, we said we're going to pick up a new show. We landed on this. We're excited to talk about it. We're no strangers to this series. We've been watching it since the beginning of the season. We're freshly caught up as well with the previous season, just in time to prepare for season 4 that premiered tonight. So we're going to dive deep into some elements, but have a lot of fun with this, as our other shows that we kind of review have more of a serious tone. This one doesn't, so expect us to have a lot more fun, a lot more laughs, and probably a little bit more off the rails than we usually do. So
as off the rails as two men reviewing a show about women can be.
Hey, look, I'm glad you brought that up, because I literally was about to say out of my mouth, please expect for us to have guests to join the show, because I've already had people hit me up and say, I want to get them on that. And I was like, hey, we can make this happen. So it is going to be funny, because as much as this show is about Issa and Molly, all I care about is Lawrence, because that is the that's all I care about.
Wow.
I'm riding with Lawrence to the wheels fall off. That is the epitome of a stand-up guy. He has done no wrong ever.
Stand up. Oh man, we must be forgetting the entire first season of this show. Stand up is not the word I would think of, but okay, I get you.
But no, seriously, let's get into season 4, episode 1. Lowkey Feelin myself. I guess outside of it being a song, I have thoughts about that, and I have thoughts about the title, but like typically when we do reviews, we always like to discuss the title and what it kind of how does it apply to the show. So we always start off with there. But like, yeah, with the title, first of all, before I even get to that too, I love Insecure for one reason. It always got some banging ass music throughout the whole time. Just start off with Tyler the Creator, which is an automatic like eye opener for me, because that's my man, 100 grand. But nonetheless, yeah, Lowkey Feelin myself. Outside of it being a song for me, I have no clue where the title kind of how it applies to anything like that, because I feel like everybody was kind of walking on shells.
Think about it though. The way it first started, that first situation with Molly at the bowling alley, she was feeling herself. She was feeling super confident about everything. Even Issa at the beginning, before she found out that devastating news later on, she was feeling super confident about herself. So they were in the mode of feeling themselves. It's just that eventually down the line in episode, all of that went away.
I don't know. And when I hear feeling myself, I feel like it's like a ego tag to it. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna be very clear, and we'll see if this opinion changes at some point of this season. But up to 4 seasons right now, the definitive answer is I do not like Molly at all. I just don't. Just don't. So I just don't agree with the idea of her saying she's feeling herself. I mean, literally, she is just looking for love wherever she can find it at. And
hey, man, that's another old song, looking for love in all the wrong places. Like she just saying, it ain't clicked to her yet. Like, but she's actually probably my favorite character on the show.
Okay, well, this is gonna be fun.
Her and Amal, and he's a very short period of time with his character. His character is freaking hilarious.
But ultimately, we'll go with this. Ultimately, for the first episode, there's a lot that I feel that they could do with this season. They're picking up immediately where season 3 left off. No time jump or anything here. So
time jump right at the beginning.
What?
Right at the beginning is the time jump when she's on the phone at the beginning.
Oh, right,
and then it backtracks 4 months. Then it backtracks 4 months.
That's true.
That picks up right at the end of season 3.
Right. That's true. There's a lot of dynamics going on. There's a lot of there was a lot of trouble looming. Some of it quickly came to fold. I was wondering how long was it going to take for that one to come about. But I was within 10 minutes episode. I was like, I wonder how long they're going to drag this out. But clearly not, because this needs to be talked about immediately. But we'll talk about Condola and Issa in a little bit. I want to go back to quickly with Issa and her TSA companion.
Hey man, you know what? I got to give it up to Insecure and HBO because big dudes need love too, man. We need a chance to get in scenes. It ain't always got to be the ripply, muscular dude who get in these type of scenes. So I give it up to him for even doing that. That's a nice move.
I I don't know how much emphasis this is going to get. I haven't checked social media or anything since I watched it, but I got to say the biggest gesture of solidarity is giving somebody a Hennessy bottle. There's no
Hey,
a
hey,
lot
that's
a
it.
lot of beefs have came and has deceased with with the partaking of sharing the Hennessy bottle or giving the Hennessy bottle. I the
Was
fact
that
that he
Hennessy
pieced
bottle
her.
of pills that he gave?
Yeah.
Like, wow, that's a hell of a gift there, man.
First of all, can TSA actually confiscate stuff? I mean, can they actually take
Yes, they do.
possession of things?
I won't go into greater detail, but let's just say they do confiscate things, and if things say to happen to go missing, there's no one there to really question them about
that's
it.
that's got to be a come up right there. But we'll see how much more of that character we get. Pretty funny, being a hype man for the party. Anyway, I forgot to even talk about what this episode is really about. So first of all, anyway, Issa has been working hard with Condola for trying to set up the mixer to ultimately set up for the block party that she's trying to have. Trying to get
Mhm.
sponsors, neighborhood sponsors, and just trying to get everybody on the same page. So the mixer was the beginning, and ultimately the fundraiser for the block party, which she's trying to have. The block party is about representation and bringing awareness about the gentrification of everything that's happening in LA, and trying to keep that image, that vibe in LA, while everything's happening around them. So herself, as far as other advocates of other different organizations, the businesses all attended the wine mixer, to more or less be aware of the movement that she's trying to create, and
Mhm.
potentially be able to be a sponsor or any type of donor in order to help that movement go forward. So that's like the seriousness of what she's trying to do. However,
Yes.
and too much success, because her and Condola, who met last season, have been clicking it off all crazy. And before there's even this really big wild card that's in play, their likeliness to each other is so fake to me. It just drives me
Really?
nuts. It
Really?
drives me nuts. I'm not. Look,
Oh
it's fake.
man.
It's fake because you see it all the time. It's like, it is no way you guys are buddy buddy and have known nothing about each other, and bam, it took all of a 10 seconds.
Hey, but if you think about it, that's how real friendships kick off, is that you don't know anything about each other. You may randomly meet at another friend's house and then y'all become really good friends. I got like friends who I consider family now based off of this exact same situation without the messy shit that happens later on in it. But this exact same situation. I think their relationship actually for Issa is the way her and her best friend should be. It's the elements that's missing in her and Molly's relationship that these two have, that I think is going to highlight this season more than anything else.
I'm curious to know what that's about. I am, but nonetheless, because it's such a critical part of this episode, it's almost feel like a spoiler, which is why I've just been bouncing around it the entire
And you might
time.
as
But
well get right to it.
let's just
Everybody
get
know
hell
about it.
right
If
to
you've
it.
seen
Look,
season 3, you know
yeah,
what's going on.
exactly. Right. So Issa and Condola. Issa, ex-boyfriend Lawrence. Condola, new boyfriend Lawrence. They didn't know.
Mm.
They found out in the middle of a work session, and
From a shady friend who
yes,
knew, who
who,
fucking knew about it, and they opened her mouth up, Joe.
but did she? But anyway, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
you see that look on her face when they brought it up, and she said, "Oh, is this that guy that you met that one time and you didn't think?" And she's like, "Yeah, that's him." And the look on her face was like, "Oh." And then she looked right at Issa like, "Shit, this is gonna cause a problem."
yeah. All right, so let's talk about the important things. First of all, should Issa and her still be friends? What's your take on that?
Yes, I think it would be. Here you go. Let me put my adult man hat on because again, this is a show about women, so women will react much differently than I would to this situation. If I put on my serious like friend hat, why would I care? Like if she's supposed to be done with Lawrence, it shouldn't matter that he's with somebody else, and that happens to be someone you met and you became cool with before you found out about him. Like, like how immature would you have to be like, I don't want to fuck with you because you messing with my ex that I'm over now. That makes no sense.
Yeah. So my
But that's
thing
thinking
is,
like a man. That's thinking like a man. Now, I can't think like a woman, but clearly we saw what the woman's reaction would be to the same situation.
first of all, she's not done with him. She's not. I mean, you see how
And
she
that's the
was.
problem.
She was
That's
goosing
the
over him the
problem.
whole time at the
Last Dragon movie.
screening. Yep, at the screening,
Yep.
she was.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and on top of that, immediately after she found out, she started having those illusions of them fucking. That's the fun. That's the funniest scene.
Hey, but that was a scene right there that's so real. I know I'm trying not to sound sexist here. I'm really trying not to sound sexist. But that clearly is so real about the way women view things. Her mind immediately went to them smashing everywhere in front of her, like everything bad. Like that's how women think. So it didn't surprise me, and I think it was a nice jump that they threw in there.
When the cake flipped over, I almost lost my
Oh
mind.
nah, when he ripped the tag off of her shirt. Yeah, I said, okay, yeah, that's what that makes sense. It actually shows again a great flip to the title. It showed all her insecurities in one scene, and
Yeah.
it had everything to do with him and her being together. Condola.
So yeah, so pretty much in a nutshell, that's the first dynamic we'll be focusing on for the rest of the season. The two of them relationship, the love triangle with Lawrence, and how Lawrence is obviously never going to do anything wrong because he can't, because it's Lawrence. He's a stand-up guy, so he's going to ride out. He's going to ride out with Condola. Yeah, look. Any dude that's ever worked at Best Buy is a faithful man that you can get behind.
Wow!
He knew his tech stuff. He knew how to treat women. He's just a good guy. It's not his fault that these women did him wrong, and he was left in the decision to make hard decisions.
That he was trash for 5 years and then had his come up.
He had to struggle, man. He had to struggle. And
but he gonna fuck Issa for sure. That's gonna for sure happen.
Nope, I don't see it happening. I do not see it happening. She's gonna ride out with TSA boo. That's what's gonna happen for her. That's gonna be her. That's gonna be her new boo for the whole drug.
That's not good. We know that's not gonna last.
I don't know what his name is. I don't know what his name is.
Exactly.
But they call him TSA boo. So that's what they.
When have you known occurred to last? When the first time you meet him, you don't know his first name. They never last.
He was the hype man for the party. So yeah, we'll kind of see how that happens. Obviously, the next big thing is Andrew and Molly. So look, here's the thing. I'm gonna be serious now. I'm gonna get on track. Molly is again one of those type of people.
Get it off.
She is successful. She got the good job, and she's very confident in her job. She makes good money. She got the nice place. She dresses nice. She has everything that most people is driven in life for. Obviously, at work, people don't like her because reasons, but not important right now. And she is very judgmental. That's why she has lost previous guys. She's judgmental to Issa and overstepping her boundaries. And then she's judgmental to Andrew. And then it's so funny because as soon as she looks around and the walls are getting tight and the room is black and there's no one else around, then she gets to wanting to make up and she's just happy-go-lucky Molly again. Like, hey, girl, back in the mix, or texting them back like, oh, I'm sorry. Those type of actions to me don't sit well. Like, you don't get to burn bridges and then all of a sudden get to say like, all right, I'm cool now. Like, it doesn't really work like that for me. So nonetheless, she is a person who creates toxic atmospheres everywhere she goes. she's truly wrong to Issa. That just makes no sense because she's only acting like that because number one, she doesn't want anybody to be doing good, better, or successful, and damn sure not in love over her. And anybody that does in that atmosphere around her or aurora around her, it's an issue. She has to be the main person doing good. When she's happy, the world is great. And when she's not happy, especially in love, it is everything goes to shits.
Yeah, this show's gonna be very interesting to review with you because I saw that completely differently than you did. Molly's character is a character that, and I think you're 100% right. She's extremely confident and powerful at work, but she's one of those people who is extremely vulnerable and soft away from it. She portrays an image at work that's not her. When she's away from the job and dealing with other people, that's really her. She's the show. She's extremely insecure, and she's always been insecure. I saw with her and Andrew, it was a situation where they didn't put up the boundaries of their relationship the way they were supposed to, and because of it, it made her feel insecure the moment she found out he was seeing other people. But if you pay attention to the beginning of the episode, when Issa had that Sunday meditation relaxed day, and part of it they said is to hold yoga, each other.
But yeah.
Yeah. They said part of it was, we need to hold each other accountable. She was 100% right of what she said to Issa. It is extremely messy for you to be friends with that person. Knowing who Issa is extremely messy for you to be that person. So what happens is at times with her relationship for Issa, that confidence that she has at her job comes out to her best friend. And that's either a weakness or for some people it's a strength to have someone who's always going to be 100%, 1,000% real with you, even when they shouldn't be. That's what I always portrayed her relationship with Issa as being. But her relationship with Andrew is her just being insecure. She doesn't know what she wants. In season 3, she even said, I can date him for fun, but at the end, I see myself with a black man. How the hell are you hurt? Then what are you doing? Like it's a complete thing about insecurity. She wants to have that relationship with him on her terms and her terms only, which amazingly is what most, damn it, getting back to me sounding misogynistic, what most women want is a relationship on their terms. And he's not giving that to her. And then that's when she got in her feelings. But she's attempting to correct herself by knowing, like, hey, I have no right to feel this way. So I think that's growth more than anything else, especially from that character, from the stuff we saw in the past with other men.
I mean, you're right. I just don't know why the tone is different because, again, yes, you're right about the dynamic with Andrew. Like, It's like you want your cake and eat it too. But again, once I feel like once her emotions are compromised or not, I don't know. Once her options are limited, that's when she just starts crawling back and want to rekindle everything. She's done it all the other previous seasons as well too. Something else she said too that just reminded me. Oh, so yeah, number one, holding people accountable. Yeah, that worked for her because she always wants to be the alpha dog, and when she's on top, people on top always want to be the one to point the finger at everybody else. But she can't do that when she's just as guilty for the things that she's pointing her finger at.
100% so.
So like that whole dynamic of like the sloppiness is the same as that thing she's doing. You don't want to take him serious. You dolt him pretty much, and you get mad because he's not sold on you 100%.
But think about it though. We're confusing.
My man had the Uber home. That just blew me.
That was cold. That was dead cold. But if you think about it though, we're playing two parts of her as if that's the same person. Again, knowing women, that's not the same person. Her dealing with him and her dealing with Issa will never be the same person.
Not at all.
Because once somebody with that type of strong will builds up a really close friendship with somebody, they feel they can be as judgmental and straightforward as they want to be because that's their friend. And she is extremely vulnerable with Andrew because she can't control him. Issa wants a friend that can control her and tell her what to do, as we've seen through this whole series so far. And Molly is that friend. That don't mean that their relationship is healthy in any way, shape, form, or fashion, though.
I think Issa looks for constructive criticism, and she trusts the people that's close by her. That's why she keeps her friends tightly niched. And the two dynamics between the three, the dynamics between the three of them is all different. That keeps them balanced. However, it always seems like it's Molly that just falls out of suit, and that's really pretty much dependent on her relationship life. Now, for one, when she got that promotion, the promotion at the conclusion of season 3,
the black job,
right?
Black firm,
right. And then dude was like, "Yeah, I'm good on working with her." Like, she was happy that she got the promotion. She can't sure as I wish I could remember that scene exactly, but I could almost remember that scene wasn't strictly about Molly, but then she interjected with the fact that she got the promotion. It's like, cool, just for her to come back and brag to her friends, although the chemistry at work wasn't what it needed to be, because obviously her and the guy couldn't even work together for reasons in the past. So it's like, again, as long as she's able to be dominant, the alpha, back to her friends.
She's the alpha. She's the alpha personality of the group. Every group got one. Every group of friends has that alpha personality.
Yeah, I mean, that person. Yes, there's always going to be a person that's going to be mentally stronger than the other, but I don't think it's right to be pointing the fingers back at them, telling everybody to get this shit together, as if her shit is not all in shambles itself.
She's the second friend that's like that. Out that circle of 4, 2 of them are exactly alike. And then you have Issa, who's the weak one. Kelly, I think I'm saying her name right. Kelly's the funny one that's loose. And then you have 2 alphas in the same group. And both of them point out flaws on everybody else. It's just that Molly can't point out flaws to Tiff, because Tiff has more of her life together.
Well, to the extent that she, has a guy, because that's all Molly cares about. I feel like Molly truly drives her life and her emotions based on the security
100% so
of relationships. Yeah. So I don't know. Nonetheless, I just can't get with Molly. I just no. Okay. Yeah, Kelly's my dog. 100 grand. Issa brother is gonna be hilarious. I don't know how much they're gonna give him this season, but right now it's gonna be hilarious. So I don't know. Anybody else we didn't talk about? I thought something else. We already talked about how great Lawrence is gonna be. I tell you what. Issa and Condola relationship, because I didn't answer. I don't see a problem with it, because they are achieving something that's bigger than the 2 of them. And together, although it was so funny when they said it looks like I'm watching a live in-person conference call, almost died. Yes. I almost died. That's literally I couldn't think what it was, but guys, I was so important. But the 2 of them together are, besides that little mishaps they had, they got something that's special that we may ultimately see pay really big dividends for the community. And
smashes Lawrence
until that happens. Because it's not
got feelings for him. Yeah. That's the problem.
Also, black men don't cheat, so that's no way that can happen.
Wow.
And Condola is
how many black men we've seen cheat on this show so far?
0
in 4 seasons.
0.
Tiff's husband slept with somebody, right?
Nope, I don't know.
Wow.
Hey, my man said his reason to how they made up is the most. That's the most flawless thing I ever heard. He's like, yeah, something happened, and say it happened. We just made up, and we're good now. Like, it's easy, small conversation. But I don't want to talk about Tiff yet. I want more Tiff for next week, because she was just shady all day, 100%. She knew, and if she was, I don't know, really friends with Issa like she should be, even the idea in the beginning should have been like, hey, Lawrence, I mean, I will give Molly that what she did to protect Issa on her birthday on the last season, but also she really overstepped that because she probably should have let her know too.
No. See, I think from a guy's perspective, you would want to know. From a woman's perspective, that ruins the entire day. If he'd have showed up and Issa would have saw him, birthday canceled. Everything would have been focused on him because that's the way women think.
So nonetheless, hours later, she was still pissed about it.
Yes, because that's what women do. Again,
and said she don't fuck with Molly. So as we seen,
but see, the don't fuck with Molly is what 4 months into the future where something else happens. Because I don't think this may be the start of it.
Two strikes on her right now.
It could be she don't fuck with Molly because eventually that messiness that Molly talks about shows his head, and Molly does what Molly does. Is point out to her, I told you this was going to happen.
Nah.
She had Condola gonna be good. She had fantasies of this dude and her. The cake. Yeah. She had thoughts of them fucking everywhere. That you only do that when you got feelings for the person that your ex. That's the only time you think about stuff of that nature.
That's just funny. Yeah. Overall, like this episode was cool. Again, I think the musical selection I got with. I like what it's introducing for the beginning of the season. Not too much craziness going on, but enough for it to really carry on the entire season without, I wouldn't say too much filler elements. The comedy is still on par with what they work with in the previous season.
This episode was shorter. I think they're going back. I'm guessing they're taking it back to the shorter episode format. Probably. Because episode 3, every episode was like 40, 45 minutes long.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see. I like I said, I didn't mind it. It wasn't like the greatest episode, but it did enough. I'll probably watch it again just in case to see if I missed anything. But it did enough to kind of set the tone, like I said, for this season.
That's the key part. I think it's a tone setting episode. It's not meant to be groundbreaking. It's meant to introduce, because it's been 2 years since season 3. Yeah. So it's meant to reintroduce you to these characters. Yeah. What Issa's doing, what Molly's doing. It focused on the main characters and not much of the supporting cast, which it needed to do to remind people of the show. And then I'm guessing as the season goes on, you'll get introduced to the supporting characters again.
Yeah, big thing too is that if you watch all the other previous seasons, is that again, I think this was a good episode for you to kind of pick up a good episode for people who have not been watching to kind of jump in and get intrigued to look both ways, to see the previous episodes and see what's going to expect in the future. So I think this is a good like a draw for new audiences. But I will say, as much as it had the comedic, this could have, as much as this had like the comedic factor, it didn't have that really emotional pull that other episodes have had with dynamics such as this, the love triangle, and
I think you can't have it in the season premiere.
Yeah, exactly. So
that could drag the hell out of people early and be like, nope, I don't want to watch that.
Exactly. So and I'm cool with that. And again, for it to be the premiere, I think maybe that does set the tone for the beginning of the season right now, before they actually probably go back into more of that traditional style, what they occasionally and more or less been using in the past. So we'll see. But it was cool. I ain't mind it. I will be back obviously Sunday to pick up on episode 2. But nonetheless, I got with it. What about you? Anything else you want to say about it?
Nah, just that you have Molly all wrong and Lawrence is not a good dude. That's it. Man, you gonna stop calling this dude. Hey, I'm champion all the women who said he's not a good dude for how long he took to get his shit together and made her do everything. And she slept with one dude one time and he want to blow up. Like, come on, son. That's not the way. He outdid Joe giving bras chlamydia. And yet, Issa wrong? Come on, son. Come on, man.
If Lawrence, if this was happening right now, during the coronavirus, Lawrence will be essential out there grinding, making sure that he get them checks.
If this happened during the coronavirus, Lawrence would be dead. Because clearly, if he caught chlamydia, he would catch the coronavirus. Let's be real.
End of the season, you will understand, and you will be a fan of Lawrence, and you will absolutely understand that he is doing. He's the man. He's making the right decisions out here. Nah, but seriously on Lawrence and I can't think of her name right now.
Molly?
No. Lawrence
Issa?
and Molly. No, the other girl.
Issa?
No, you said
Condola?
Issa. Yeah, Condola. Thank you.
Condola?
I'm curious to see where that's going to go. That'll be my last time. I just want to see how the dynamic's going to go because as much as Lawrence is wearing poker face right now, he addressed the situation, but we know when they brought up the idea that it was 5 years, he definitely was looking like, yeah, he answered it good, and they was able to move on from it.
It's a playback to the end of the third season. I think that's what this show did a good job of bringing back that conversation he had with his boys at the movie premiere, at the movie screening, when the boy who cheated on his wife and he had to do everything to get her back, and he was like, man, we've been together too long. I'm not throwing away all them years for nothing. And the look on Lawrence's face when he said it, tells me a lot that's what's going to happen in this season between them two.
Yeah, you're right. Well, we'll see, and we'll be back next week. And yeah, I gotta look up the information for next week, but maybe I guess it probably will go back to a longer episode, and we'll have a lot more to talk about because definitely need to see how some of these hands are being dealt and where they're gonna go with it. But until then, thanks for checking out this review, and we'll be back next week.